cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. Well, good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sovereign Soul Program, a show which stands for love, levity, and liberty. Because after all, love is the greatest power anywhere, and laughter's the best medicine, especially covering serious topics and all matters ancient, current, esoteric, and quantum, right? I'm your host, Brad Wozni, and we have an incredible show here for you today. Now, I trust some of the information in today's episode, or heck, all of it, could literally help you to generate powerful and positive impacts in both your life, those of your loved ones, and the community around you. You see, my soul's purpose in life is to help uplift mankind's consciousness with song and story. Therefore, in this show, by sharing these unique points of views, these truths, the laughter, the love with you for entertainment, it's done so according to the laws of nature, which aim to pierce the programming waged upon the global masses and help foster a greater world for us awakened lions and lionesses as we fight back against evil while humanity propels itself forward in this golden era upon us. That is the age of Aquarius. So first of all, from my heart and from my soul to you whistleblowers, I'd like to thank you, the light workers. Thank you to the digital warriors, the citizen soldiers, the benevolent healthcare heroes, the first responders, the benevolent military, benevolent Leos and educators and powerful parents, the divine masculine protectors and divine feminine guardians. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I'm grateful for your efforts to shepherd light forward in this world while fighting for the sovereignty of all souls. It has not been for naught. So wherever you are watching this broadcast or hearing this podcast, I want to share with you that I've been fortunate to become a Reiki master several years ago. And as such, I am sending Reiki to you, prana, chi. It's literally love. I'm sending you love and support to help you hold the line. Keep it up. As a former Canadian infantry soldier myself, trained as a peacekeeper years ago, who also spent some summers hopping out of helicopters, fighting wildfires in the Ontario and Yukon, I've had a continued calling to serve the greater good. It's in my blood. It's the core of my family. My family's lineage on both my father and my mother's side. Each of them are firstborn Canadians. It holds patriots who fled the Nazis in World War I and World War II, immigrated to North America as refugees, and many of them soldiered up, put on a uniform, went back to occupied Europe to fight against evil during the world wars, both in tanks and bombers, as sailors, as nurses, as infantrymen, as medical doctors, on the beaches of Normandy, all the way to Berlin, there to defeat fascism once and for all. Unfortunately, that evil snuck back into the shadows and it launched another sneak attack on our world. And so by producing the Sovereign Soul Show, it is my hope the information in our episodes, including the one we're about to dive into now, will help you achieve a higher level of sovereign freedom in your life. It's like JFK said, the service of truth is a matter of heroism. Hence, this is how I'm acting as a soldier here for you today. SOULDIER, soldier. One whom serves to help uplift the world's vibration so we may all live from a place of love, levity, and liberty, which is the mantra of our show and the ethos of our mascot, the Bling Buddha, whom you'll see, and he fully subscribes to that right now. So on to today's show. And now we're going to cover off on XRP, Ripple, our weekly economic update, and a lot of amazing things that are happening around the planet, as well as things that are detrimental to society and how you can position yourself to take advantage of those and create potentially newfound fortunes in a very short period of time. I'm just going to share with you right here what's going on in housing. But in Canada, it's been very well known, has a remarkably conservative, I would say, banking system Well, at least it was marked that way in 2008 in the last recession. Well, check out this report that came across from Better Dwelling. This is just a few days ago, where Royal Bank of Canada, RBC, the largest bank, it states that Canada's largest bank sees the country's real estate bubble popping like no other. It says last week, we explained RBC is getting to revise its forecast lower, and they made it official today. The bank explained to investors the correction will be larger than previously expected. They're now forecasting the largest downturn in history for both home sales and property sales and price. The next line says, no reason to panic, though. The bank says this should be welcome after the past 2 years. Listen, if you're out there and you need to sell your property right now because you're experiencing roughly 40% inflation in 18 months, this is not good news, right? But this is what those evil banksters like to do. They like to gaslight people. It says Canadian real estate is facing much bigger headwinds than previously thought. Well, that's what they're putting out in their narrative. We've known for at least 2 years, when you look at residential mortgage-backed securities and commercial mortgage-backed securities and the amount of debt that the Fed has been buying up in the States, that there is massive writing on the wall, as well as a global lockdown and a complete stalling of the global economy for upwards of 2 years. Well, here it is. It says by October, Royal Bank of Canada is forecasting the overnight rate will climb to 3.25%, a rate not seen in well over a decade. When was that last time? Right after 2008, right? And they say that they're in the middle of a historic correction. You know, as a guy who majored in economics and did a minor in American political science, that was a major that I had to go into in university at the time. And boy, even though math, really kind of hurts my brain, folks, let me just tell you, historic correction is a way that they're trying to paint a pretty picture so that people don't panic. So there's things that you need to do to take advantage of this. And when I was doing real estate investing for roughly 14 years with my companies, when you look at something that goes up and something that goes down, you can play either side and you can benefit as a result of that. So for example, the foreclosures going up, you can get involved in short sales and you can make a lot of money. I know a few people that I was affiliated with at the time that just did it, that crushed it. And they also came out with courses in that. So there are ways to pivot, and it's all about having that awareness. Okay. When you have that awareness and you receive specialized knowledge, that empowers you to make a decision in what you can do with your portfolio, with stocks, with savings, to help yourself, help your loved ones thrive rather than scramble to survive in an economy like this. Okay, so what else then? What else? So housing is down in Canada, and we have seen housing starts across the nation of the United States have stalled, completely stalled. In China for months, it's been reported that developers have been walking away from projects. In fact, Evergrande in China, which has trillions of dollars outstanding, massive, right, has walked away from paying off the interest on its debt, many, many, many billions. And there are entire small little cities and massive buildings vacant because they can't afford to finish that. And you're seeing that sweep across globally. I mean, Argentina has had over 60% inflation. Zimbabwe had over 1,000,000% inflation in 2 years. That's just crazy, right? To think about that. Everywhere else in the world, and all of this is hitting the shores of North America. You're seeing it in the EU. Germany just announced 2 days ago that it was going to shut down buying gas, because it had all these natural gas contracts with Russia. So they're going to shut it down and curb it. Well, we're only a few months away from winter, and winter in Europe is very cold. So there are things that you need to do. So what you're seeing is what I've been saying, what Dr. Elliott, who's been on his show 2 times PhD, has in economics. So he's an economist, literally doctor of economy, and a theologian, been saying that you're literally in a depression now, not a recession, where they're trying to refine that. So with housing starts down, what does that mean in North America as well? Well, now you're going into the 6th month of mortgage applications, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association in the States, of mortgage applications being down. So you're seeing that massive decline. What have we seen? We've also seen the Federal Reserve raise interest rates on a monthly basis in the States. You've just seen in Canada nearly a 1.25 point raise in June, and then you're talking about other historic unprecedented moves that they haven't had for more than a decade or ever. So these are the things that have hit the shores. And a few weeks ago, when I had Dr. Elliott on the show, he was mentioning that JP Morgan Chase had notified deposit holders, there might be delays in making transactions. Well, just last week, as Dr. Elliott said, hey, CEO Jamie Dimon came out. This is the biggest bank in the United States, right? It's one of the largest in the world. Came out in a press conference and said that very soon deposit holders may not be able to take money out of JP Morgan Chase. Now, why is that? We've seen the RICO cases covered in past shows, the RICO case, organized crime unit case from the DOJ being prosecuted against JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and others against their trading desks in Wall Street that have been caught price fixing the market for years of precious metals, gold and silver, forcing it down, driving it down as they take out their shorts positions. We've seen, I've shared the chart on these shows, $32 trillion in shorts and derivatives positions that are out there that they're not able to cover from those losses. There are other conspiratorial, and that actually moves us into the XRP. I had Jimmy Vallee from Valley Hill Capital on here 2 weeks ago. We spoke about Ripple XRP and the SEC's unprompted, unconstitutional, unlawful case by everything that's lining up. And he's been a whistleblower, and he is an attorney as well himself, to literally attack Ripple and their cryptocurrency XRP and drive it down. And what have we seen that's come out in the case documents with that federal case in front of a federal judge? We have seen that 2 of the major heads at the SEC were entangled previously in their private lives as attorneys working for JP Morgan Chase Bank, who was their primary client. And now what they have done, and all the evidence is coming out and in the courtrooms, and Jimmy has shared this on that powerful episode we had, which went viral in the XRP community, has shared that they conspired to run Bitcoin and Ethereum up, and has shared that what it looks like is they launched this lawsuit, which has cost Ripple over $100 million in fines. Excuse me, not in fines, $100 million in legal fees in 2 years to defend itself by virtue of this lawsuit launched at the behest of the federal government, which is really paid out of taxpayers' dollars. Now, here's the thing. What Jimmy had mentioned, and we're seeing, is that should the case be proven and settled on the benefit of Ripple XRP, there's at least a 3 times amount paid due to all XRP cryptocurrency. That's the token symbol XRP, those investors. And the reason being is that's because of what they allocate was stolen from them in the market at that point of time in terms of increased equity in positions that they could have. And right now, at the time of this recording, XRP is trading at about 36 cents. There are many people saying it could be 35,000, 50,000. Actually, go to an article right now that was literally just came out in USA Today. It says at the center of the discussion in the XRP community is Jimmy Vallee, CEO of Valley Capital, and his buyback price prediction is $35,000 for the 7th largest cryptocurrency. And another XRP user, Ian G, instead believes XRP might reach $50,000. Well, think about this, right? If you can buy an asset for 33 cents and it's projected to go to $35,000, wouldn't you want to do that all day long? Now, here's the thing to be very wary of, right? Of course, everybody would say yes, of course, to that. And do I have a crystal ball? I don't have the crystal ball. I just have my intuition and my gut feeling that as Babylon falls in this very corrupt system that had been set up to condition people in systems and institutions. We remember the term government are two Latin terms that came together, right? The two Latin terms are governus mentis, and that means governus, control, and mentis is mind. Mind control, literally right before our faces the entire time. And as many people have known for a long time in the real estate investing community, mortgage is two French words combined for death pledge, right? Mort, M-O-R-T, means death en français. So what are we seeing here? We're feeling that at any moment, the judge, the federal court judge in this XRP Ripple SEC case could very likely vindicate. And I have to say could very likely because, again, it hasn't been written in stone yet. The judge could flip-flop the other way, but very likely from what we have seen, very likely vindicate Ripple XRP, and those awards are due to them. And it looks like that the SEC may have to pay that roughly $9 trillion fine at the time of when Jimmy and I did the interview that had been allocated if that comes to bear, which could literally skyrocket, just shoot up the price. Now, being very mindful, folks, if you're not into cryptocurrency right now, you do have to watch, obviously, the exchanges. What we've seen in Canada from the Freedom Convoy is the government has went after to go and attempt to steal the money out of private individuals' crypto wallets. We have also, and that happened in the Freedom Convoy. We've seen the parliament send those letters that they want that. We've seen them do that with GoFundMe. We saw Give, Send, Go stand up and say, no, you cannot take the money that's been raised for this peaceful protest. And at the very least, you can't, Canadian government, tell us, a private organization and charitable company who provides a platform, and dictate to us what we need to do with the money that people have personally donated. And we're just providing a conduit, right? Give GoFundMe, though, they totally went totalitarian and gave it over. So basically, the Canadian regime stole the money of those people that donated. Well, in cryptocurrency, and the exchanges got to be very wary of that. We have seen just in the last 7-8 weeks, Celsius closed its doors, bankrupt. Binance was stopping all Bitcoin withdrawals for a period of time on its exchange, and that's an American exchange. So there's one here, BiTrue, that so far looks very credible from everything we've seen, and has been referred to me as well by Jimmy himself. So the links here to get involved, that's where you can actually go buy XRP, because there are many of the exchanges that are part of the World Exorcist Forum, which include Coinbase, that do not allow you to go and acquire that, right? It's all about control, but you can go and do Bitcoin and Ethereum all day long. By the way, as Jimmy pointed out in that interview, 2014, looks like JP Morgan Chase was a majority investor in Ethereum layer 1. Yet it was hidden behind the scenes until the discovery process allowed these documents to come through. So does the government really have your best interests? I don't think so, right? You need to take care of you. You are responsible for you. And that's the way that you move forward, right? And speaking of government, and we love to have levity here, and the links are below in the description, so you could jump in, at least check out that exchange. One of the cool things about BiTrue is they give you free money to trade in an account. Now, it's not real money, it's fake money, if you will, but they've allocated that so you can get used to trading and investing. And there's also some great courses as well. And we've got an interview here on the show for crypto, right? And what you can understand from that in digital asset investment. You take a look at one of these great guys, Spock, where he's talking about everything that's come up with a certain person's laptop that has been submitted in Congress and been in evidence, and all the information is making its way out there about that particular political family and all of their backroom and extremely illegal dealings from everything that we've seen that's come out here and been reported thus far, right? So you are responsible for you. Take care of yourself. And let's move forward as well, talking about the economy and what else is in store for everybody, okay? Hey everybody, it's Brad here. Our show will continue in a moment real quick. If it resonates with you,
drop a like, follow us and subscribe to the show. Hear from cutting edge guests who are experts in their field, have a lot of laughs, and discover some powerful tips on how you can thrive through 2025 in this amazing golden era of humanity. So give us a like, drop a comment, follow us right now as we fight back on the war being waged on humanity right now. And by the way, if you feel so inclined, please do share this with 9 friends, family, and colleagues as well. I'm deeply honored you're listening to this. Thank you for doing so right now. For those many of you who have taken that step. And here we go, back to our show.
Okay, we are on XRP, and we did share this meme, which turned out, folks, that it seems to have come true about XRP. And this was, I mean, look at those angel numbers, 3:33 a.m. taking that screenshot. Now, this was 2 months ago, and you've got Michael Saylor there who just stepped down from Bitcoin investing. And we're seeing a Bitcoin meltdown. What people are saying in the crypto and digital asset investment community, they believe it's going to really hit hard with Bitcoin and Ethereum as a result of the XRP case about to come to fruition and conclusion based on what the judge is saying right now. And Michael Saylor stepped down, right? This was the guy who was always advocating out as well, right? On that side, these are people that stand for eugenics. What is eugenics? Reduce the world's population to 500 million people from 8 billion. Do you know what that means? You know, it doesn't mean like Amazon is stating here, and we've seen the Financial Post in Canada just literally posted Amazon shrinking its workforce by 100,000 as hiring freezes and layoffs hit the tech sector. Also included is Alphabet. I have a hard time saying that because of who they are behind the scenes. And Apple are slowing their hiring plans. Well, yeah, 100,000 people in June, the article goes on to say, were fired by Apple. So they certainly know something is coming, right? Which is this massive shutdown. We've seen reports that for months, the ships that are supposed to provide supplies and materials and raw materials and goods and manufactured items in China, those ships have actually, as we've seen in many reports, allegedly not even reached port, didn't even leave China. So not only is the supply chain shrinking, and you have, as Dr. Elliott's pointed out, we're absolutely in a depression right now with the economic cycle and with the massive rampant inflation. We're also in for some more pain as that comes around. So those are things that you need to adapt to and overcome, as my regiment has stated. And it's happening everywhere. You know, London itself is talking about rationing water if drought persists. So you've got to take care of yourself, folks. Obviously, take care of yourself financially and health-wise, right? And let's go over to, you guys remember that movie, The Big Short, that came out just after 2008? Well, it was based on a guy right here, Michael Burry, who had predicted that all of the stuff they were doing right after the tech bubble burst in the early 2000s, adjustable rate mortgages and ARMs, and 3 and 5 year ARMs. And, you know, you can come in the States and you could have, this is how crazy it was, you could have a social security number and a couple $1,000s, and you could get a mortgage based on what's called non-verifiable income. So you could literally fill out an application, not say you have any income. They do the application and process that at the bank or the mortgage center, and you could get it. There were people getting mortgages reported up to $500,000 for only a couple grand down. So he saw that there was this massive tipping point with the CDOs, okay, that were coming, and he just became a billionaire as a result of it. Well, here on Bloomberg, you see that he's stating that the silliness of the markets is back. You know, this is the investor who bet against the housing market ahead of the financial crisis in 2008 is predicting another crash for months. It's exactly what Dr. Elliott has said. This is what I've been sharing in my private discussions with people. You could see it coming for years on end, just from the residential commercial mortgage-backed securities I touched on earlier. And now with everything imploding or exploding, depending on the way that you look at it, you know, you have this global economic crisis. It's not a national one like it was in the United States in 2008 that also had some ripple effects worldwide. This is global, and it's happening elsewhere and about to hit any moment. in North America. And we're already seeing, another hit being taken in Australia. This was just on Stu Peters' show. This wonderful, heart-centered reporter. I love her independence, Maria Z. And what they're discussing is that there's all of a sudden, right? Like suddenly people are dropping dead. Well, suddenly 450,000 cattle in Indonesia have got foot and mouth disease. And the Australian government has stated, according to Maria, has stated that they are going to lock down all of Australia and cancel hunting permits should one case of foot and mouth disease, FMD, be found. Do you think people are going to stand for that again? One case in that massive country. Remember, Australia is pretty much a continent unto itself, right? So all of this is continuing. The supply chain crisis, corruption, the food processing plants blowing up, and what it has to do on your economic portfolio and survival is you need to ensure that you are ready to rock and take advantage of the upside. Remember, as things are going down, there's other things that are going up, and you can invest into them, or you can trade and you can hodl that and you can stake it in our cryptocurrency terms. And let's again look at gold, right? Precious metals. So we saw on July 6th with Dr. Elliott on the show, he had stated that, listen, they omitted for the first time since the Nixon administration, they had omitted in the United States the ability where there was the language in, I believe it was United States Section Code 95B. We posted it from that interview. You can go back to it and look at it, as well as the screenshot directly from the US Gov website. It said, well, now, up until now, July 6th, between Nixon and now, you could only trade in fiat currency, the oil-backed US dollar. Well, now they've omitted it. You can actually use silver and gold for transactions. Businesses, corporations, individuals, right, can use that for barter and trade back and forth, not just the US dollar. Well, here's what's happening, because many believe that this paves the way to a gold-backed precious metals currency coming in. What we have seen, this is brand new, hot off the presses, right, on Zero Hedge, is that gold is going to go nuts. Many people have been saying this for at least 2 years, right? You've got the petrodollar, the fiat currency, the US dollar has dropped from reserve status worldwide. You have the BRICS countries that have created their own gold-backed, precious metals-backed currencies together. That's China, Brazil, Russia, India, multiple other ones. And now European Union countries have to get onto that in order to buy products from Russia. What are those products? Oil, gas, energy, electricity, because they don't have the ability to produce it. And the only way Russia will sell it to them, because they unplugged them from the SWIFT banking system on March 22nd, is due to them trading in rubles or their new gold-backed currency. So the Russian ruble is now by far stronger, if not the world's reserve currency, right? Pretty much overnight, like in a blink of an eye, folks, in just a few months. Never happened before. So here we are. And with this article, Tom Brodovics is a private investor from Western Canada with a background in oil and gas, and identified the housing cycle and sold his home to invest in the junior resource sector. He gained a libertarian and contrarian perspective in 2013 and attended entrepreneurship in Europe. And as we've seen in a recent Federal Reserve report, indicates China was trying to infiltrate that organization. And he moves on to talk about the massive jump in gold. All right. So things, geopolitics, espionage, economic supremacy, credit crisis is coming. We already are seeing that, and why gold will take off. Well, we have over 3 billion of the world's population from the BRICS, just by virtue of that size of people, folks, that are on that currency. $35 trillion of gold, 35 trillion was reported to have been bought in a 30-day period of time in June of this year. So we know everybody's moving to gold and precious metals, and we've seen that gold is still trading. And Saylor right here, Michael Saylor, Bitcoin, gone, right? This guy was an evangelist and touted as a guru, and he knows a lot about Bitcoin, and he's raising all this investment capital and private investors to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Well, guess what? It's been exposed. JP Morgan Chase and the CCP are major stakeholders and owners in Ethereum and, from the looks of it, Bitcoin, based on the case. And Jimmy Vallee is going to come back on here shortly, and we're just going to do an update from his perspective as to what's going on and what he thinks. But boy, if you can go 36 cents right now, XRP to 35,000 or just $15,000, my goodness, go for it. I would say. And that's all up to you, by the way. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial or wealth advisor, folks, nor do I my lawyer play one on TV yet. So, you just think about the economics and numbers in the case that's going on. Listen to that interview, use your discernment. And again, with the BiTrue guys, they allow people from all over the world, whether it's Australia, Canada, the US, to go ahead and acquire XRP. So here it is. You can open your free trading account. You get all these bonuses. You get free trading money, fake money, right, for fake trading, but you can get a sense for how to use it. And then jump on board and use the crypto course that we were speaking about earlier in this interview, and another one that will be published on how to understand what it means. But at the bottom line, there are many people that are stating, even Digital Asset Investor on Twitter and in YouTube are stating that XRP is going to eclipse them. We've made that example that Ethereum and Bitcoin are like the Ford Model T, and Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency, from a technological advantage and a quantum and a consciousness standpoint, is like a brand new Audi S5 car. So do you want to continue to buy the old Ford Model T when you know that everybody's going to the Audi S5? I'm definitely down with the Audi S5. Makes sense to me. And maybe the Model T. You want to have just a few of those, like in the Smithsonian, just to look back and say, hey, I still did. There is a merge coming in Ethereum, as I've been saying. It's about to happen, and with the network. So potentially you could, generate some nice income from that. At the end of the day, for me, I like to look to what the real future is in the sovereign side, as the sovereign sole show, and from a sovereign standpoint where you do not have fingerprints of these banksters and these world exorcist forum folks who just want to take your money, take your land, force you to eat bugs, force things in your arm, poisonous, and we're seeing all the side effects from that. And remember, what government is, it stands for mind control. And so much stuff keeps coming out on nearly a daily basis. And here's just another one recently. After months of denial, US admits to running 46 Ukraine biolabs. Wow. People have been saying this for many months, coming out and being called conspiracy theorists. Obviously, the country of Russia. Now, I'm not here for war anymore. Let's use love. Let's use peace, right, to weaken the bad people and bring them on. This is a path of a Reiki master. I'm 7 years into this now. I'm very fortunate as well. So I'm not standing for war, right? However, if somebody was generating potential bioweapons, and that enemy of yours, or the people within the government are the actual enemy of yours that are targeting those, DNA genetically targeting those against you and your citizens, wouldn't you want to go in and stop this? Absolutely, right? You classify that organization within that government as a terrorist organization, right? And definitely evil. So that's all come out now. And we're seeing that continue to work through the wheels of justice and grind. All right. Things you got to be aware of, folks. And again, remember, use your discernment at all times. What I'm going to do here is take us over to a video that Dr. Elliott and he had just sent over to me here recently, so you can understand where we are in North America consumer confidence, because still at this point in time, America has the greatest economic impact in the world. So you have to understand what's going on there because of the ripple effects. Yet it's kind of like it's coming from everywhere, right? You have now nuclear war being stated, the drums being beat in China and Taiwan. You already have that Russia, Ukraine, now so apparently North Korea and Iran. Like, holy smokes, never happened before. So it all has a negative economic impact on people, their savings, the value of the dollar, and what you need to take advantage from, and everything precious metals, folks, precious metals and the right crypto or digital assets, could really take care of you if you can do this and educate yourself. And this is why we're doing the show here as well, on a weekly economic update as to what's to come.
America's going in a good path, right? Our wallets are fat and happy. You think, oh my word, Apple makes great computers, great phones. They have great management. Mm-hmm. And the economy is booming. This would be a great company to invest in, right? For future growth. Well, what if you don't think that? What if you think that the future growth of America stinks? What if you think nobody's going to buy their stuff because they can't afford it? Are you going to invest in that company? The answer is no. Mm-hmm. So consumer confidence report that comes out once a month has been declining month after month after month after month. It hit a low point during COVID until now. Now it's at the lowest point that I've ever seen. In fact, wow. if you were to look at it on a chart, the chart I was looking at, it went to the bottom of the chart. Next month, they're going to have to expand the lowness of the chart because it keeps declining. But what's worse than the consumer confidence report is the global consumer confidence report. Because as bad as it has been here in America, it's worse in other parts of the world. And that one looks like if you had a path, if you were running along this edge of a mountain and you jumped off the cliff, and if this little chart was showing you your path, that's what it looks like. It's just a free fall. And there is no confidence globally because you've got geopolitical conflict, you've got wars in Russia and Ukraine, you've got foodflation, people can't afford to feed their families. Consumer confidence is just being shattered. So it's not just the US stock markets, it's the European stock markets, it's the Japanese stock market. Every country is feeling the hit of rising interest rates, of monetary tightening, of confidence waning. And that's only going to get worse as things kind of get worse. So a bigger report that nobody ever really looks at is the confidence of CEOs. There's a CEO confidence report. Mm-hmm. This month, it just came out on Friday of last week. It's down 15 points, 15 from the month prior. Jeez. Why is that? Because CEOs who have big companies, they're looking at their balance sheets. They're looking at their income versus their expenses to see that there's not an awful lot of revenues. People aren't spending money right now. So therefore, their confidence is being shattered, down 15 points in 1 month. What does that do to the mind of a CEO? They're going to say, I don't want to hire anybody right now. I'm going to put the brakes on hiring because I don't think that the future looks good. So now you've got what Neil Kashkari, who's the president of the Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank, said that inflation is spreading, right? Why is it spreading? Why is this malaise spreading? Well, it's because inflation just doesn't hit retail prices. Inflation hits wholesale prices. The cost of goods that they use to make stuff is going up. And when that goes up, it's going to be harder to actually make a profit margin. So therefore, they're just simply not going to hire people because people aren't going to spend. They can't afford it, right? So when you look at all these things, and this is why he said it's spreading, because wage inflation is not keeping up with price inflation. See, if your wages were keeping up with inflation, you wouldn't even know there's inflation because your income is keeping up with it. But that's not the case right now. Wages are not keeping up with inflation, which is telling people, man, we couldn't afford to live. We were living hand to mouth before. Now it's even getting worse. So this is where he said inflation is spreading. And that's what he means by that. So just buy bullion, buy 1,000-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars, 1 ounce rounds, 1 ounce equals. Take delivery of it at home or store it at the depository. This is how you protect yourself from the confidence that's waning around the globe, right? So absolutely. I want to encourage you this week to take that leap of faith. Give our office a call, get put on my calendar, one of our advisors' calendars, where we can strategically map out what a successful future that navigates through the inflationary crisis that we're seeing successfully will look like. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thank you, Kirk. I appreciate that. Okay. I mean, he's so busy. You can see here on the video talking a mile a minute. So that's the thing, folks. Again, links are below in the description. So if you want to go buy gold, and you can actually roll your IRA 401k over, as they've said, penalty free, you can do so in a link here at Goldco, or also you want to jump in and do silver with Dr. Elliott, give them a call. They can have that strategic. You could fill out the form. Again, the link is below here to get that done. Bottom line, whether it is cryptocurrency XRP and you're feeling into that and that resonates with you, and precious metals, or just one of them, this is where the world's going. This is where the world's shifting. Everybody out there who is on the sovereign side and has that intuition tapped in, as well as has an analytical background to take a look at things, feel into it intuitively and know where it's shifting. Babylon is falling. We've seen the crumble. March 22nd of this year was a massive signal that Babylon is crumbling. The fiat currency reserve system is going away, that a new era of finances is being ushered in. But in order for that to happen, it's like taking an old home when I was doing real estate full time and investing in it. You can either knock it down or tear it all apart and get it right down to the brick and the mortar and the studs. And then with the new architect blueprints and you've got the permits, you go in and you retrofit that sucker. This is what's happening in the economy right now. Yet what you can see, only the majority of people can see, is all of the chaos. Few see the beauty that's on the other side of this and are preparing and taking that action. So it's like the tsunami, right? You've seen videos, or at least you've seen it, where people are on the beach and a tsunami is coming. Well, before the siren goes off, or maybe the siren has just started to go off, the water recedes. And some people are stuck in inaction, right? They're stuck in disbelief, looking at the water, going, oh my gosh, what is it that's going on? And for those that are in the know, they realize that this is a tsunami, that this water going out is going to come back to you 10 times, 100 times more powerful and worse and wipe you out. So you need to take action. You need to run inland. You need to get to high ground and prepare yourself for what's to come, because after that, then things are rebuilt and there is a new peace that's distilled. Yet there is unfortunate victims that get swept out in the tsunami, and people do lose their homes and property. But between life and property, life is what's paramount. Property can always be rebuilt, right? So as a result of that, folks, get inland, get to a high ground right now. And this is a perfect metaphor to use for precious metals and something in digital asset investing that you see the analytics, do the discernment, get involved, get educated, because it's happening. I mean, that storm is already upon us. It's on many countries. It's gone through and is wreaking havoc right now. And it's happening. We're already seeing the water's gone out. So don't just stand there and wait to see evidence that there's this massive wave that's going to overtake you and swamp you. So the links to everybody is down below. Again, jump on the BiTrue, BiTrue, however it is, you can do that. You get free money in a practice trading account so that you can understand what it's like, get yourself set up. You can buy XRP from anywhere in the world, because pretty much every exchange that I've seen that's still open in Canada, the United States, does not let you buy XRP. And boy, we have seen what those exchanges have done in Canada, the United States, and especially like Binance, and especially like Celsius and 3 Hours Capital, that they've gone bankrupt and they've held people's money. So, those are things to be mindful of. Jump on there, give it a shot, as well as look into your IRA, your 401k investing. Now, here's the thing, as Dr. Elliott shared many times with people who have the investment advisors and financial advisors and say, well, I could go buy silver ETFs or index funds. Guess who's running those index funds? The same entities and doing criminal activities that are right now in court being prosecuted upon in a RICO case for price fixing and manipulating the stock market. Yes, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and all the cronies, for the most part, that we've seen reported that are out there, and it's even in mainstream media, Bloomberg News, for gosh sakes. So maybe there's a chance that there's some good news coming out of those mainstream forums. It's there. All right. So check in, get a free consultation on your silver with Dr. Elliott, get a free one with Goldco on gold and doing the same thing. And folks, grab this and go out there. This is your moving in right now to the high ground, right? Go out there, take some action, receive that education, have those conversations, and then get informed as to what mountain you want to climb to and watch as a tsunami comes in and nails everybody else, right? And we're not cheering for everybody else. I want everybody to be saved. That's here. But there are people here who are still operating like this. Here's another meme. These are the people who are brainwashed. who have chosen not to use discernment or critical thinking and have had their consciousness corrupted, and they're wondering what to do next. They're watching the mainstream TV, they are listening to the propaganda, and they are not thinking with discernment and critical thinking. They are certainly not using their heart and intuition and their gut to tell them that, hey, things aren't right here, because they're stuck in that cycle that's perpetuating on to the next thing. And of course, we're hearing monkeypox, then it's going to be sheeppox, and we've got foot and mouth disease and all this crazy propaganda that they're pushing out there to keep people in fear. The thing here about this economic update, folks, is not to be in fear. It's to have awareness. Stuff can tick you off, and you've got righteous anger or righteous indignation. As Tracy Joe Jaco, when I was on being interviewed by Michael Jaco, former Navy SEAL Team 6 DevGru legend in the community, righteous indignation. And what do? You first take care of yourself. It's like the mask dropping from the ceiling in an aircraft. The first thing you do is put the oxygen mask on yourself so you can help out others after, right? This is the oxygen mask from an economic standpoint. Go out, sign up, get a free account, start practice trading with cryptocurrency and digital assets. Give a call to Goldco, sign up, get Goldco, have them on the phone discussing with you. Dr. Elliott on the silver side, having a discussion with you. It's all free to make the right decision for you, the oxygen mask, and then you can go out and share this as well with friends and family, 9 of them, to help wake them up too, because things are moving so fast right now that we could wake up in 72 hours or 3 weeks from now, like many are stating is very likely to happen, and that everything is wiped out. Housing market, stock market, crazy. And you have to have physical assets, and you've got to have something digital asset from an investment standpoint, in my personal belief, that carries you forward. All the best to you, everybody, and many blessings. I trust that this has been informative to help you make more informed decisions to create future sovereignty for yourself and move forward in that vibration of love, and do so with levity. You've got to laugh at some of this too, right? Do so with a smile. By the way, it's been proven that if you smile and you hold a smile for over a minute, it activates trillions of cells throughout your body, and that uplifts your DNA. So sometimes I speak very serious, and then also do so with a smile is uplift your vibration and your etheric body and your rainbow body and your light. Much love to you. I'm grateful for you all for watching this broadcast, listening to this podcast. I send you love, energy, Reiki to hold the line, both sovereign-wise, yourself at home, your loved ones. Many blessings to everybody. Please do like and subscribe and leave a comment here and enable the notifications we have another massive, great lineup of guests from special operating warriors who have awakened, and their consciousness is really waking up. It's incredible, to Reiki masters, Huna, to galactics, and more economic updates and health medical updates for folks and what they could do to literally save the children in this world and heal the world at the same time, and do so naturally. Just imagine that. Those are all to come up. So definitely click subscribe here on Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, however you're seeing this, or on any of the podcast platforms from Apple to Google to Podchaser to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and so many others. I'm Brad Wozni. This is the Sovereign Soul Show from myself and the Blink Buddha and our team. Thank you. Much love and light. All the links that we mentioned are here below the description. Go and take some action now. Do not stay in inaction. That is fear. Go ahead and move forward as a result of that, with knowing that finding the information and getting your questions answered directly will provide a great degree of comfort and allow you to make the right decisions moving forward that resonate for you. Because everybody has a little bit of a unique, like our soul, a unique expression, has a little bit of a unique need financially in their lives too, right? At a high level, it's all about sovereignty, freedom, and abundance. But depending on where you are, you might have some unique questions for your retirement investment portfolios. All the best, folks. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family. And of course, if you enjoy our blinged Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.